Hello, Frozies! McFrozen Nugget here, coming to you with another video! And today I'm finally doing my review of the 2021 LEGO Star Wars Boba Fett's Slave 1. Now, there was definitely a lot of controversy, and I think there still is nowadays, regarding the ship and its actual name. LEGO doesn't actually refer to it as the Slave 1 because these are some stupid fucking reasons from Disney. But I'll get into that when we actually take a look at the box. But for this review, I'm calling it the Slave 1. Fuck you, Disney. Again, fuck you, Disney. You don't have any credibility anymore, whatsoever. You don't get to decide what should and shouldn't be in Star Wars or any property you own. So yeah, on that note, let's take a look at the box. And here is the box. Got Din Djarin in the top right corner. It's at 753.12, ages 9 plus, or I would say 9-14. 593 pieces. This actually retailed for $50, which I definitely think is a damn good deal, if you ask me. And it actually says Boba Fett Starship, because Disney legit did not want them to use the name Slave 1, because it presumably referred to, because in their eyes, it referred to slavery, when that was literally just the name of the ship. It had nothing to do with slavery whatsoever. And they even said that they now refer to it as Fire Spray, when I'm like, that's just simply the class of ship it is. The official name is Slave 1. It will always be the Slave 1. I even actually did a bit of a funny meme online, where I actually sort of scribbled this out and put Slave 1 right there. And I did something else. I don't remember exactly what I did, but anyway, you can see it flying through the plant that it was featured in, or that this is based off of. It was the Believer episode, season 2, episode 7, where I think it was based on the tragedy. I don't know exactly either. It looks very similar to Tython. We got Boba Fett spoiling the actual size reference. We got him and Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, down there. And there's the back with Boba actually loading some carbonite into his ship. Very reminiscent of Empire Strikes Back, obviously. And it shows all the features that this comes with. And then I was actually kind of nervous that I wouldn't find this. You get one instruction booklet. It's actually kind of thick. Or big, I should say. And it's a, trying to get all the way to the end here. I think it's 130, yeah, it's 130, oh no, 141 page build. 146 if you count the, right there. Or if you go all the way to the back. And it shows the sets, the Mandalorian centered sets for 2021, as well as all the figures for summer 2021. I did review the Imperial Armored Marauder. I did already do the Duel on Mandalore and the Mandalorian Starfighter. Now I'm doing this one, the Slave 1. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the box and the instruction manual. Let's get on to the minifigures. Starting off with the man that is obviously piloting this ship actually belongs to, being Boba Fett. This is obviously the Mandoverse version of Boba Fett. You can see right there. And the line's actually acting a little funky. Probably because it's still kind of dark in here, despite the amount of light I'm using. I'll just use this flashlight so you can actually see the detailing on him a little better. Really like the printing on him. He's even got arm printing right there. And I actually do agree with Ryan, aka M&R Productions, on this, in that his helmet should be a darker green. More like, kind of similar to how it is on his torso. But that's obviously just me and him. I think a good handful of other people would agree with us on that. He's got a really interesting blaster right there. Made of a Alien Conquest blaster with a black lightsaber hilt on the end of it. And he does actually have a new face that portrays his really banged up, scarred face from Mandalorian Season 2. He doesn't have a second face, but he does have some back printing on his head. Getting his jetpack off so you can see the back printing right there. And this is actually only my second Boba Fett figure, like actual adult Boba Fett. The only other one I've actually had since Christmas of 2012 from the 2012 Desert Skiff set, and that was based off of Return of the Jedi. And this one actually has light printing, which is really cool. You can see the head underneath was when it's from the originated from the 2010 Slave One. I definitely hope to get a more updated version of this Boba Fett, maybe from the new mech that recently came out. I'm obviously not gonna review the mech. I'm just gonna get I'm really getting it just for the figure, obviously. So yeah, that is it for Boba Fett. And now for Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian himself. Now this is obviously him in his best scar armor. So obviously he's got the much nicer torso and legs compared to his original look from the beginning of Season 1. He does have arm printing. He's always had arm printing with this look. He's got a very nice silver helmet that unfortunately has a very downshifted helmet print. This is when we were dealing with a lot of those issues with Din. But fortunately, especially starting with last year, they have actually fixed that and even given him a newer, more accurate print that is actually based off of the print from the UCS Razor Crest. This is actually from the spider tank that I got for Christmas, so I will review soon enough. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak. So I'm obviously not going to show much more of him. But the only thing that's different is obviously the helmet. The torso and legs are the exact same. This one actually comes with a spear, which is representing the Beskar spear you got from Ahsoka in The Jedi, which she took from Morgan Elsbeth. It's just got a simple blaster pistol. It's got a cape at the back. You can lift that up, and he does have back printing. And this was when he didn't have the actual likeness to Pedro Pascal, and it was just simply a black head. But obviously, starting with the N1 Starfighter in 2022, he did actually get the proper Pedro Pascal head, which I'm not going to show here. Again, that's for the Spider Tank review. Yeah, that is it for the figures. Now for the actual Slave One. Now this is actually the first ever version of the Slave One I've actually owned. Not counting the micro builds from the advent calendars. Like, actually full size, this is the first ever Slave One I've owned. Which I still think is really, really cool. So glad that I finally have something that is iconic to Star Wars. Ever since we first saw it in 1980 in The Empire Strikes Back. Chasing down stealthily following the Millennium Falcon to Cloud City. Now, obviously, again, this is the version that is mainly based off of The Mandalorian. So, obviously, it's not 100% accurate to the OT, but for me, it's close enough. Actually, I'll get this right here, so it'll be a little easier for me to move. Now, much like all the other Slave Ones, except for Jango Fett's, this does have a little compartment where you can store a poor victim encased in carbonite. This is a sticker of a Gamorrean guard frozen in carbonite. Obviously meant to go along with the Razor Crest. Obviously, unfortunately, I do not have the Razor Crest, but it does still fit nicely in there. You could just simply look, there it is. You could just simply close up like that. It has some blasters at the front that can move a little bit. I wouldn't recommend really turning them this way because they can break off fairly easily. But I just kind of keep them like this because it's just my preferred way of having it. And we got two stud shooters on the front. You obviously know how stud shooters work at this point. You just simply press on the lever and they fire. Fortunately, I was actually able to save it and actually get it back in place. Unlike with the Armor Marauder. And as you can kind of see, the wings actually rotate with the ship depending on its orientation. Actually, back up a little bit, and hopefully my phone stand will actually cooperate. You can see right there, landed and flying, which I definitely really like. Unfortunately, the seat doesn't actually rotate, but I'm at least happy that this was kept for this scaled down version of the ship. Obviously, you can kind of see a lot of these pieces are covered with stickers. At this point, I've pretty much gotten used to stickers. I don't really mind them that much, but at the same time, I do understand a lot of the annoyances that people have with them. You can also open up the cockpit right here, and you can actually sit Boba in there. Fortunately, you can't store his blaster in there. You could just simply put him right there. I kind of prefer having him lean a little bit to his left, so then the cockpit will actually close fairly decently, and not be pushing in on the rangefinder too much. You can see right there. And I'll also show you the back here. There are the engines right there. There's this little tile piece which will actually be very useful in a little bit for another feature of this set. And if you're wondering what this is actually the handle for the set. This was actually put in as due to the positive response of the handle on the 2019 Slave One that was for the 20th anniversary. Now, obviously, even though this isn't really that big of a set, you can actually just hold it very easily. Like you can hold it right here or right here. I do still very much appreciate that LEGO thought ahead and actually gave us a handle for the Slave One, just simply because of how awkward of a shape it is. And you can just simply use it and fly it around fairly easily. And there's actually one other build that's in the set, which is this little cargo, or this little like cargo piece that you can either use to do some maintenance on it, or, and this is actually what it's kind of mainly intended to be, is meant to be a stand. So you can actually have it in its flight position the whole time. You just have to wedge in between this sand green tile as well as this little piece right here. And bam! You can actually have the Slave One as a nice little display on facing upwards, or upright I should say. It's not the best looking stand, but it definitely does get the job done. Now, this is not the first time that we've done a downscale version of an iconic Star Wars ship, as obviously, as you've already seen on my channel, I did reviews of the X-Wing fighter and the TIE fighter that came out the same year as this. This one came out in the summer of 2021, whereas the other two came out in the winter of 2021. I'm actually gonna back this up a little bit further. Oh. And back up my camera a little bit further. Here is the Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter next to it. Get into its attack position. You can see right there. Put that back there. And then also the classic Imperial TIE fighter. Now, compared to the Slave One, the TIE fighter is definitely a little too big, but considering that it's meant to be a downscale version, I'm personally fine with it. And even though I haven't done a review on this just yet, but I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek. This is a 2023 TIE Bomber, which is meant to be in the same scale as the X-Wing and TIE Fighter, mainly the TIE Fighter. But yeah, I'm not going to show too much of this, as again, it's meant to be like a sneak peek for when I do review this. Really hope to get 2 of these. I only have 1, unfortunately, but again, I hope to get another one soon enough. And I will say though, compared to the Millennium Falcon, this actually does scale really nicely. So you could actually have both this and the Falcon together for a really cool, like, Empire Strikes Back standard display. So, my thoughts on this set, I actually do really like it. It does have a few issues, like I think I mentioned. I think the guns, and then the no rotating cockpit piece. But again, they had to downscale it to be a little bit more affordable. As I kind of mentioned, the last Slave one before this one was actually $120, whereas this one's only $50. So if you want a Slave one that's relatively decently sized, but it's not too expensive, then maybe go for this one. But if you're not interested in it, then go all out on the 2019 version, which I would say is almost like a slightly scaled down version of the UCS Slave one. And plus, that one's actually based off of Empire Strikes Back, whereas this one is based off of Mandalorian Season 2. So yeah, as usual, social media links are in the description below. Drop a like if you enjoyed this. I'm just trying to get my phone to be a little bit higher up so it's a little bit of a better perspective. There we go. And again, like I kind of inferred earlier, I will be reviewing the spider tank that this version of Din Djarin comes in soon enough. But again, I'm at least happy that I got at least 2 of these reviews down and out that I've promised for a long, long while. Just haven't gotten around to them. I was just kind of trying to take it easy on YouTube, just mainly posting like pictures and artwork and whatnot. But I decided, you know what? Especially since my channel's finally gotten monetized, might as well actually get around to doing some more reviews soon enough. Or again. So yeah, as usual, love all your forces to death, and of course, don't forget to keep it rigid, and may the force be with you.